Breaking news. WNBA insider doesn't hesitate on 10-year Caitlin Clark reality amid tough reminder for Fever HC. She's progressed in her rehab, and I anticipate that by hopefully the end of the week, she'll be on the floor or at least in practice. Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White spoke with hope in her voice, eager to see Caitlin Clark rejoin drills after battling a mild bone bruise and nagging groin injury. The athlete already managed a short walkthrough before the Seattle Storm game, a small step that signaled progress. Yet the question has shifted. It is no longer, can we watch Caitlin Clark play this season? Instead, it has become far more difficult. Should Caitlin Clark play this season? That is where the caution came in from the WNBA legend. Lisa Leslie, a three-time MVP and Hall of Famer, did not mince words in her public reminder to Coach White. She could provide an amazing boost, but again, I'm just going to put my coach's hat on, my GM hat on. You want to see Caitlin Clark for the longevity of her career, Leslie said. I'm just thinking, me personally, I would not put Caitlin Clark back on the floor this season. Her warning set the tone that while Clark's immediate impact is undeniable, her long-term health is priceless for the league and the franchise. And national analysts echoed the same sentiment. On the WNBA on NBC podcast, hosts Natalie Esquire and Terrika Foster-Brasby dissected the dilemma. Terrika cut straight to the heart of it. Is it worth risking long-term health at that point for just a couple of games? Like, Caitlin Clark is your franchise cornerstone. You need to be protecting her for like the next 10 years, Terrika stated. And to me, that's way more important than trying to squeeze out a couple of wins right now to maybe adjust your position in the standings. Doesn't make any sense to me. Her words underline the truth. The Indiana Fever's future doesn't hinges on a decade built around Clark. Still, Clark's value is impossible to ignore. Even while missing 16 straight games, she has averaged 16.5 points, 8.8 assists, and 5 rebounds per game, while juggling multiple injuries. Known as a three-point beast, Clark's on-court energy shifts the pace of play, her shooting prowess difficult to bend, and her presence has driven Fever attendance and national viewership. Yet, the argument surrounding integrating Clark lingers heavy. The Fever's television ratings this season have climbed nearly 30% year-over-year on games featuring Clark, and resale ticket prices at Gainbridge Fieldhouse nearly doubled before her injury. The franchise's financial growth has become intertwined with her availability, putting extra pressure on both team doctors and front office decision-making. Even if it's just late season or playoff minutes, she needs to get the reps right. She needs to get her body back in shape. She needs to kind of feel that postseason intensity. She needs to continue to build that chemistry with Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell and Natasha Howard. And those are just moments and things that you can't really simulate in a practice, Terrika explained. She highlighted a major pressure point for Fever and Clark. The point guard desperately needs real game chemistry, but her body may not be ready to handle the strain. And unfortunately, these dangers are not hypothetical. When Clark returned early from her initial 2-week rest, her body broke down. Fatigue set in, her efficiency dropped, and soon she aggravated her groin again. The Fever and the entire league witnessed the fallout firsthand during the Connecticut Sun game. While her averages remain stellar, the cost of re-injury could derail more than her health this season. It can compromise the decade-long aspiration that the franchise is banking on. After all, Clark had admitted, along with Pacers player Tyrese Halliburton, to staying in the team for the rest of her career. Terrika further shared, "We have seen that this Indiana team knows how to win without Caitlin on the floor. We have seen Kelsey Mitchell put the team on her back and done so successfully. And I just don't think it's worth the risk if she's healthy for the postseason. And I mean truly able to go with no pressure, with no risk, no restraint. If she's truly able to go for the postseason, then unleash Caitlin Clark and let her go full strength." Needless to say, the Fever has been making remarkable moves in Clark's absence this season, thanks to Kelsey Mitchell. Mitchell's surge is undeniable. She has led Indiana in scoring, steadied the offense, and delivered spectacular wins when the Fever desperately needed. Remember the recent 38 points against the Connecticut Sun? But no matter how brilliant of a veteran presence Mitchell has been on the floor, she is not Caitlin Clark. The on-court gravity that Clark brings is enough to topple opponents' defensive schemes. Besides, if the athlete is ready and risking her health means a storybook win for the Fever, the team should proceed to reintegrate the athlete by all means. At least, that's what Terrika feels. On the other hand, Natalie Esquire agreed with Terrika and added 2 cents on the issue. But the likelihood of them making a deep postseason run this year is probably unlikely, right? They got playoff experience last year. They probably can still make the playoffs this year. Pointing at the larger picture at hand, Esquire painted the reality of the franchise. Standing 6th in the league, while Indiana may reach the postseason, the finals are a far-fetched possibility. So, sacrificing Clark's health for the short-lived playoffs makes it a futile attempt at the behest of H.C. White and the team. While the playoffs get tougher with each passing day, teams like the Minnesota Lynx and Las Vegas Aces have already secured their spots. And as the Atlanta Dream and New York Liberty inch closer to making the cut, it leaves Indiana Fever as one of the last teams to make it to the playoffs, if at all. And even if Clark returns, one wrong move can erase the team's playoff hopes and ruffle Clark's playing momentum and professional future. Besides, Lisa Leslie's closing words haunt this reality. That deep groin injury is nothing to play around with. It can feel like you've never had it. You make one move, one cut, boom, she's back in the same spot. The stakes are high for Fever and Clark if the athlete returns. While she stays away from the roster, Clark's teammate is already out there, rallying the team on her bare shoulders and breaking historical records. As the lead scorer for the Indiana Fever, Kelsey Mitchell stepped up as the lead scorer of the franchise this season. The 7-year veteran stepped up to propel the team in Caitlin Clark's absence, thereby breaking several remarkable records this season. And the latest one comes against the Seattle Storm. Kelsey Mitchell attempted a 3-pointer shot in the first quarter, and as the 24-foot shot was all it took to set a new franchise record. Starting the season with a previous of 767 points, Mitchell became the highest scorer for the Fever with a new high of 772 points. Previously, the record was set by none other than Caitlin Clark. The sophomore athlete made a record with 769 points in her rookie season. But this wasn't the only record broken by Mitchell. The athlete made 20-plus points within 20 games this season against the recent game versus the Minnesota Lynx. And 2 days later, she added 26 points and carried the 20-plus record in her 21st game. While Mitchell is rallying the Indiana Fever on the hardwood, Clark has been making noise from beyond the court. She recently teamed up with Nike to launch her signature logo ahead of the Signature Collection launch on October 1st, before her signature sneaker line rakes up a storm next year. As the players made individual progress, the Indiana Fever continues to struggle ahead of the playoffs. While the team manages to clinch a 95-75 win against the Seattle Storm, it was their 3rd win of the last 9 games. As they sprinted 6th in the league standings, things look bleak for the franchise.